So, hello and welcome back. If I've recorded this is a part 2 to the In Perpetuum Houseki no Kuni fanbook review. This part will actually contain a review and flip through of the fanbook itself, since I feel like I talked a lot about Houseki no Kuni and the artist PEMPRIKA in the first part, just so it wouldn't be super long for me to edit and just a super long video in general. So yes, I split this into 2 parts, if this recording gets used for a part 2. So essentially, the fanbook itself, I actually unboxed it already because A, I was too excited to finally get this beautiful this beautiful hardcover fanbook. And B, I just want to flip through it quickly, just to get an idea of what I want to say about it. And then I basically put it back in its packaging and did like a video clip, whenever I'm going to show that, of me essentially, unboxing it, just to show you guys how it comes. Now, this is pretty much like a first release, so I'm not sure in the future when she packages it if it's going to be the exact same sort of packaging that I got. Now, the first thing I'd like to do is discuss the price for the full bundle of this fanbook. Now, I paid $80 for this fanbook. Now, that may seem like a lot of money, but you have to also consider the material that this book is made out of, just how many pages there are in this fanbook, and the merch that comes with it. So, this fanbook itself is if you can tell by that, a hardcover compared to the Divine, which is very not hardcover, softcover. That's the word I'm looking for. But yes, it is a hardcover fanbook that has a dust jacket that is adorned with gold and silver foil, and when you take the dust jacket off, there's also the inside cover that just has a gold foil on it as well. This book contains 50 illustrations, 20 sketches, 10 concept sketches, and art from 5 guest artists. And the merch that this comes with includes 2 foil postcards, 1 linking enamel pin, 3 stickers, and there's also 1 extra free sticker that came with all physical orders of this fanbook. So in my opinion, this just overall feels like a pretty good deal for what you're getting in terms of quality and quantity of items you're getting for this bundle. Of course, if you want this at a much lower price, you can just get the physical Zine itself without any of the merch for a lower price. And she's also offering a digital copy of the fanbook at an even lower price than that. So that is a pretty good option if you cannot get physical merch right now in your country. So now I'll be basically inserting footage of me, with the merch and the book in its original packaging, just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like. So like I said, the Zine or fanbook came in this type of packaging. Of course, I have this piece of paper right over the top just because that's where my address is. So now I will get to opening this up. It opens up just like this. We have this little thing on top, which I think is supposed to prevent the merch from moving around. We have the merch in this little folder right here. And lastly, the fanbook itself, which is very nicely wrapped in this black tissue paper. So going through, we have, of course, the merch right here. Starting off, we have the two lovely gold and silver foil prints of Moonfoss and Cinnabar. Next up are these adorable matte finish stickers. Go through them one at a time. My stickers, I tend to not peel the back off and stick them onto things. I tend to put actually a tiny little piece of tape on the back and then just stick them on my bookshelf because, yeah, just because I don't like to, you know, stick them onto anything. Super cute. And this is, of course, the extra sticker that comes with all physical versions of the Zine. And the last piece of merch in this bundle is, of course, the beautiful linking enamel pins. If I can focus, go. I believe the color is supposed to be rose gold, and if so, a very beautiful color. And I just love the way she draws hands. So yeah. First, also, this is my first linking charm, which is pretty cool. And lastly, a little cute business card of her characters. All her social media is here, as well as her shop. Now moving on to the book itself. It comes with on this, it's kind of popping out the front. But yeah, it comes with this black tissue paper, little very reflective gold circle sticker. Kind of represents Foss's golden alloy. Gonna try and also open this just in case. Go. Open that up. We have it in bubble wrap, and of course we have the silver little sticker right here to represent Cinnabar's Mercury. Apple, sorry. And yes, we have the beautiful In Perpetuum Zine. As you can see, it has the gold and silver foiling on this dust jacket. I just also love the feel of this dust jacket. I'm not sure what material it's made of, but it feels just so nice to the touch. That's the front. This is the back. Sorry, very reflective from my light. I guess I can just also get a little close up the characters. Yeah, just look at the way she draws hands. I don't know. Very, very delicate, very long and slender. I just love it. So I will take off the jacket. Well, I guess I might as well show the jacket off in its full sort of glory. If I can get it all in one. Wow. Okay, that is very... super duper reflective, that's probably why. But yeah, pretty much just like this. I also realized that's supposed to be the pages of the notebook from when Foss and Cinnabar first met, which is pretty cool. I don't think there's anything on the inside. Yeah, it's just plain. Just a plain inside. Now I will quickly grab the lovely hardcover itself. Beautiful as well. There's actually, yeah, it's just all gold. There's no silver on this one, just the dust jacket. We have just a sketch of Cinnabar and Moonfoss. I'm gonna see if I can just open it to show a full cover of the book lightly so I don't bend any pages, but there it is. Ugh, it just feels so nice. Hardcover Zines, yes, extra costs, but it always feels nice to have. I love hardcovers in general. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole dust jacket, or the whole book itself, along with the dust jacket. I feel like
I'm gonna have to be extra careful that I don't scrape anything, especially the gold foil, because I feel like this could get scraped off. I did just notice, it's kind of hard to see because it's so reflective. It does slightly chip off a little bit, but you know, not all of the dust jackets are gonna come in perfect, which is perfectly fine. You just have to be careful not to accidentally scrape off anything. So yeah, I will again go back to talking over, show I guess the merchant bearer quality, because my lighting isn't the best and everything is super duper reflective, so yeah. Hold up 1 second.
So I'd say right off the bat, with the way that this fan book looks, I'd have to say this book is very luxurious and, dare I say, lustrous. But it just overall feels that way. And I love the feeling of the dust jacket, and it being hardcover just sort of adds to that quality. But if there's one like small nitpick, which I feel like is like pretty much with every version of this fan book, is that you have to be careful with the dust jacket itself, since the gold foil can scratch off. I do have some small marks on mine, but that's just unavoidable, and it's not really something I'm too hung up on, but that's just something to kind of be careful with if you keep taking it off the shelf and it just rubs against anything. And each of these stickers are just very cute. They're a matte finish, and I really like how Pemprika draws these characters in a chibi style. The two postcards are very nice with the gold and silver foil, and I really like how the characters are sort of, it's like a matching pair, as they are both sort of looking over their shoulders at each other. And of course, the linking enamel pin is beautiful, and I really like the rose gold, I believe that's what it is, the rose gold color that was chosen for this enamel pin. So now I will be moving on to flipping through this fan book. I will be flipping through the whole thing, and I took up the dust jacket just to make it a little bit more easier on myself. I'll be commenting on some of the pages more than others, and again, there are some minor spoilers, so if you just want to, if you stuck with this video but you just want to avoid the spoilers and so you want to skip this section, I will leave a timestamp, and I will move on to then giving over my overall thoughts on this entire bundle and this fan book in general. So without further ado, let us get started, and forgive me if my camera quality isn't the best with picking this up. I hope to eventually get a better camera to get better quality footage like in the future. So without further ado, we'll start. Starting off, we have just this just this page, but it says I will probably also be providing some extra like little footage of me sort of zooming in on anything. So this is Houseki no Kuni by Haruko Ichikawa, the original mangaka, and In Perpetuum by Pemprika. So now I will read this little blurb right here. Forever and a Day. In Perpetuum depicts the parallelism, irony, and bittersweet potentiality that surrounds Foss and Shinsha's peculiar and estranged dynamic. And for those who don't know, Cinnabar's Japanese name is Shinsha, which is pretty cute. So that's what also Pemprika tends to refer to Cinnabar as, and Foss is just Foss. So, yeah. The title originates from the Latin phrase in perpetuum et unum diem, which roughly translates to forever and a day, and is interpreted to convey a form of love that transcends beyond an eternity. The moment of their first meeting becomes a sentimental significance that drives Foss to desperately seek change and gives Shinsha the will to cling onto their soul silver lining of hope ignited by Foss. They are two lonely immortals without a sense of belonging,
Yet their promise births a new beginning, while fate continues to bind them together as both gems seek meaning to their long and fragile existences. And right here is a quote by Foss at the beginning of Houseki no Kuni. "I swear I will find you a job that only you can do." And this is Foss to Cinnabar. I should probably center this a little bit better. Their first meeting. Additionally, I feel like some of this art I have not seen Pemprika post on her socials, so some of it might be exclusive. I'm not 100% sure, but for instance, I kind of don't recognize these two. But so I have to say first, I really like the way she draws like their poses, and I'll be commenting a lot, but like the way she draws hands are just so elegant looking. I wish I could draw hands like that, but that just requires more practice, I guess. Additionally, her backgrounds are very beautiful. This part. So yeah, I'll also be commenting on some story elements, I guess, that I can remember. So this scene right here is from when Foss essentially loses their legs, which is the first part of their body that they lose throughout the story. I really like the way she draws the waves. I really should start drawing backgrounds, or like, sort of like environmental sort of pieces. Also, do forgive me for like the reflectiveness of things, especially with these black backgrounds. I'm trying to get as good lighting as I can, but if anything seems too reflective, I'm going to probably just go over the image with some extra footage. This beautiful one. So yes, where Foss, as you can tell, their legs are different because that's when they lose their legs and it gets replaced by agate, I believe. It's been a while since I've read the beginning of the series, but yes, their legs get replaced. Now, the one thing I also love about this fanbook is that it goes pretty much in order from the start of Houseki no Kuni to where it is right now. So we see the changes of Foss throughout the story, and I really like how this fanbook basically, you know, has some order to it, essentially. It's not like they randomly put like art on different pages. There was actually some thought that was put into the order of these illustrations. Yes. So this is the time where Foss loses their arms and attains the gold alloy, and this is where their personality starts to slowly change. I really like, I like illustrations like this where the characters are like, you know, they're tiny, but then you got this whole background. So yes, we're moving on to, essentially this is post-winter / gold alloy Foss. Also, I'll try not to make sure my hand covers a lot of the piece. Okay. Just making sure, because this page is a little bit reflective. I shouldn't say reflective. Like, just the way the light kind of glares off the page. So, like, I'm hoping you guys can still see it. Aw. And one tweet I remember Pemprika saying is Foss and Cinnabar, they never physically touch throughout Houseki no Kuni, which is kind of sad, and then that she just found out like this, like they're actually physically touching. Beautiful spread. That's so nice. Yeah, see like how tiny they are essentially compared to this whole background. I don't know, I really like pieces like that. Some more ocean ones. The cliff, I believe, where they first met, which is kind of cute. And now we move on to Foss's other major change. Once they lose their head, they fall asleep for, I believe, 120 years, and then their head gets replaced by lapis lazuli, and then this causes an even bigger change in Foss's personality. So now they are on the moon. And they try to convince Cinnabar to go to the moon, but Cinnabar essentially refuses to go with them. And now we get Moon Foss. And this piece is actually, she actually drew like a older, like a redraw. This is actually a redraw of one of her older pieces. And Foss asking Cinnabar to come with them to the moon. This one is another one I kind of don't recognize on her social media, so I'm not sure if it's up on there somewhere or it's just kind of exclusive to this fan book. Now, this page, essentially, as the story goes on, Foss kind of loses their memories because of the gems. Essentially, they have, what do they call it? Inclusions, I believe is what it's called. And that essentially stores their memories, but as they lose parts of themselves, they lose their memories. So, basically Cinnabar, you know, have seen all these different versions of Foss and how they change. But Foss kind of doesn't really remember, like, their oldest, you know, their youngest self, so there's that. You have all the different versions of of Foss, and, like, Cinnabar, you know, essentially they see how much Foss has changed. They remember how much Foss has changed throughout the story. This page. Now we move on to Feral Foss, Monster Foss, in which Foss essentially wants their sensei to pray for the Lunarians to basically turn into nothingness, which is the goal of the Lunarians. They just want to, like, sort of just stop existing, and they essentially use Foss as a way to sort of get their to reach their goals. And Foss then returns by themselves to the Earth. The other gems, basically they shatter Foss because they think they're going to basically attack the sensei, and then Foss gets shattered and is basically put into boxes, like their pieces are put into a box for, like, I want to say 220 years, I believe, and yes. And eventually Sensei reforms Foss, and then Foss just loses it because Sensei won't pray because he's defective. And Foss then returns to the moon, and yeah, eventually wants to crush all the gems into dust because they are in the way of Foss's plan. So yes, this is this scene. And at this point, Cinnabar, they finally find like acceptance with the gems, and then eventually, but sadly that is short-lived due to Foss invading the Earth again. And then we get the fight between Cinnabar and Foss. I love the way she draws characters. Like, some pages she draws them very cute, but then she can still draw them like pretty like intimidating, as seen with feral / monster Foss. Yeah, this is the point where like Foss is very far gone. Like, they can't even, at this point they don't even remember their old selves. And this is pretty much close to the end of the fight, and this is the last we essentially see of Cinnabar, as they are destroyed by Foss, and Foss eventually essentially absorbs their mercury and becomes human in the end. And this is the last page. Oh my god. I was like feeling like emotional just seeing like through all this, and you have this last page. And I remember her titling this, "Thank You for Your Promise." Because like, Cinnabar managed to find a purpose, and it was kind of to stop Foss, but then also Cinnabar, you know, managed to find like happiness with the gems, even though it was short-lived. Finally moving on to, that was a lot of illustrations. Concepts and sketches. These spreads are super cute. I like just like a full page of this, and I don't know, just like the overall layout of this is just so like appealing to me. Yeah, and I also like how these sketches also have like, you know, the, I guess go in like sort of like chronological order to the series. One very big sort of sketch spread. And I remember going through, yeah, and I'm like, this is like the time when Foss, you know, like Foss basically has like a lot of mental struggles throughout the entire story, and then yeah, they kind of break like that at one point. Hopefully that captures well. Or my camera. I hope my camera like focuses kind of well on these images. Hopefully, because again, this artwork is super duper beautiful. So it just like poses like this. Like, it just feels so like elegant and natural. And then there's mine that's like I feel like stiff as a board. Yeah, she just draws like very naturally flowing poses, which is just so nice to look at. And again, the hands. The hands are just so good. Day and night. It's kind of. I kind of like these like contrasting pages like this. Like there was a few throughout also the illustration part, but I kind of like these like day and night. Because Cinnabar is their original job was the Night Watch, which I feel like there wasn't really much to it because the Lunarians do not attack at night; they only attack during the day. So there's that. Also the notepad, which is essentially like kind of like when they first met, because Foss was essentially trying to look for, was supposed to fill out the encyclopedia of the life on Earth, and then that eventually just led them to meeting Cinnabar. So the notebook is very, like, I guess significant in their first encounter. Now, lastly, the guest artists for this fanbook. Well, I guess I'll also put, any links to any of the artists on this page, on these following pages in the description below. I like the little comic aesthetic to this. This one shows, obviously, all the different, what are you called? The gold alloy, lapis lazuli, essentially the parts that eventually make up Foss throughout the story. Some of these, I think this one just specifically, I'll turn a little bit and probably zoom in a little bit. This piece. Hopefully, I think that's the best I can do without there being such a big glare. Super duper cute. I do like how there's kind of like a light glow to like the characters in their hair. This one is like, you have Foss, and then you have the almost close to current Foss. No, not really. Am I kidding? Moon Foss. You have the reflections in the water. This page. Super duper cute one. And then lastly we say, Cinnabar to Foss says, "Thank you for your promise." And that is like the last quote of Cinnabar before they are essentially crushed by Foss. All the artists, I'll again link them in the description, but these are mostly Twitter handles. Note, I will read this. I'm so grateful for the kind support that In Perpetuum received. This book is a tangible embodiment of my undying love for Houseki no Kuni and Cinnafoss, the ship between Cinnabar and Phosphophilite, which unintentionally turned into a 100-page art book that took over 1 year to complete. For a while, Ichikawa's works have impacted me in endearing ways, particularly with her visual narration, philosophical guidance, and how she conceptualized the depths of her characters. Her portrayal of Foss and Shinsha's dynamic insanely intrigues me and became a huge creative inspiration for me. To my featured guest artists, thank you all for your phenomenal hard work and for helping me through my emotional journey. And finally, thank you so much to everyone who's supported my endeavors. Your encouragement motivated me to get through the entire process, and I'll cherish that sincerely for the rest of my life. I hope that you will enjoy the indulgence empowered by my super crazy passion for a pair of 2D minerals. Let's pray wholeheartedly for Foss and Shinsha's happiness for all eternity. With love, Sharon, aka Pemprika. with that, that is the end of this flip through of this beautiful Zine fan book. I guess whatever you want to call it. And now I will be moving on to my overall thoughts and closing words for this.
So now we are on my overall thoughts of the Perpetuum Zine / fanbook, whatever you want to call it. This has to probably be one of my favorite fanbooks that I have bought, just because I tend to love hardcover things. The dust jacket is just so beautiful with the gold foil, it makes it just look so elegant. The art on the inside is beautiful. I can tell a lot of thought was put into the order of the pages and all that, and it tells like a story, essentially, which is just great. I don't know, I'm very bad at describing things. But overall, I just feel like, yes, this took a year for her to make, and I feel like all that time spent was very much worth it for the final product. I overall feel like I don't have any sort of nitpicks or anything, like nothing came out terrible, I'd say. I feel like I definitely recommend picking this up if you are a big Houseki no Kuni, Land of the Lustrous fan, and especially if you do ship Cinephos. And overall, if you have the money to spare, I definitely recommend buying like any of her merch from her store, because she's just a very sweet artist. Her artwork is just so beautiful. Whenever her shop opens again, I would recommend going there and maybe picking up some sort of merch if you're into any of the series that I have mentioned previously. And if you're a big Houseki no Kuni or Land of the Lustrous fan, I definitely recommend picking up this fan book. So again, her shop I believe is opening up early July, so I guess mark that on your calendars if you're looking for some new merch to buy. I definitely would recommend supporting her for all her hard work that she has done. And I feel like with this fan book, you're not only getting like beautiful art, but you're also getting essentially pretty good like reference book. I mean, essentially, you know, like some art books, you know, are meant to be used as reference. And that should include like Zines from like artists and fan books like this, because I feel like, you know, it's a good learning tool to have like a bunch of art books with different like ways that these characters are designed, or some pose ideas, or some examples of some sketch or illustration spreads. And of course, you're not only like, you know, you're buying this Zine. Some Zine groups, they tend to either do these to, I guess, earn money for themselves, but they also can donate to charity, which is also a good cause. So I feel like you're buying this to, you know, not only get like such a beautiful reference book / beautiful art to look at, you're also helping the artists, which that's how I feel when I buy. I'm like, oh my god, all this is so beautiful. Like, yes, I want to have like this art physically, but then I also think, hey, I'm helping the artists in, you know, their endeavors, in their goals, and this is definitely a big goal for Pemprika, and I would like to say congratulations on this beautiful, beautiful fan book. Your hard work definitely shows throughout this whole thing, and I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors, whatever sort of big projects you have, whether it be maybe another Zine or any sort of other project of equal magnitude. I wish you the best of luck with everything. So I'd like to say thank you all for watching this video. I hope that you guys could see the quality of her work, even though my camera is not the best at picking up the finest of quality. And also, I apologize for any sort of stuttering I did. I did a lot of this scripted, but then some of it was unscripted, which is mostly with me flipping through the book and this last section right here. And also, I cannot wait to turn on the AC because I'm recording this and I literally have everything closed, so there's like no noise or anything. So yeah, I'm gonna treat myself to something very nice and cold after this. So yeah, definitely go check out Pemprika. She's such a sweetheart. I really like artists like that. Artists who just, you know, they take the time to comment, they take the time to reply to DMs, and yeah, so again, definitely check her out. Check out her shop when it opens up, because I recommend her, you know, buying any merch from any of these fandoms, because I just love, again, just the way she draws these characters, and also any other characters from any of the other fandoms I mentioned. She just draws them so well. So yes, again, congratulations to you, Pemprika, on such a beautiful Zine. Best of luck to you again. I know I'm repeating myself, but I just love sort of giving praise to these artists I look up to, because I would like to one day open up like my own like art shop, like online art shop. Right now I'm just like a little bit, it's just my goal. It's one of my goals, and that's something I'd like to do, and I feel like just seeing these artists do this, they're able to do something as big as making a fan book, it just kind of inspires me to want to try and sell merch as well. Definitely not to the magnitude of a fan book, because I definitely, A, I don't have the funds, and B, I feel like I do not have the skills for it, but it's something I could think about. So yeah, thank you all again. I know I rambled on, but you know, I just have to give my praise to this artist. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or night wherever you are, and take it easy. Bye!